Hello everyone, we are here with the live news roundup. We're going to talk about some of the day's top stories and hear from you. We want to hear your comments. Give me a shout on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter. Let me know your thoughts. And thank you to everybody watching, and thanks to our moderators. We have Sarah Joy and Angel Shark moderating there. Lady Edith, Rusty G, Melissa McQueen. They are all moderating there on Agenda Free TV 2. On YouTube, we're on Agenda Free TV 2. There's 2 news channels on YouTube. On the other platforms, there's just 1 news channel. So on the other platforms, we're on Agenda Free TV. Okay, Kenneth Boyd, Vincent Randall, Krista Barker all watching. Thank you for watching there. And Stan Clifford. Hang on 1 second here. Let me just get this chat room up as well. Thanks to all of our Twitch viewers as well. All right, we got Papa Bear moderating. Hello. Ralph Macchio says, where'd you go for 2 weeks? Hey, I want to talk about this first. People say, where did you go for 2 weeks? Well, I've been posting for 2 weeks, just not on Agenda Free TV. I didn't think this was a complex thing. On Agenda Free TV, we cover big breaking news stories. If there's not huge breaking news, the kind of type we cover on Agenda Free TV, then we're not going to be on Agenda Free TV. This is, I don't know. I feel like people who've watched the channel should know that. So I've been posting plenty on, when there's less news, I usually go more live on my personal channel, which maybe some of you don't know I have. There's a personal channel called Lookner. So, but Agenda Free TV is not, let's do a live stream every day. It's never been that. It's always been about if there's big enough news or news I find particularly noteworthy enough or interesting enough to cover, we cover it there. If not, we do other things. So, but I didn't go anywhere. Channel's the same as it's always been. So yeah, look, if you look here, oops, I have to reset this. Hang on. Not if you look at that tweet. If you look here, is this going to work? Why is it? Oh, hold on. I think I know what's going on. I know what's going on. If you look here, let's try this again. Let's see if this works. I might have to, here it is. Look, there's a channel. Look, there's all these live streams there from the last 2 weeks. I didn't go anywhere. I was in Boston, but I can cover news in Boston. So again, Lookner on YouTube is the personal channel. But people say, what happened to you? Well, I can't make the news. I can't control whether there's huge breaking news or not. So when there's less big stories, I do stuff on my personal channel, and I sometimes do news roundups here. Anyways. Okay. The other day, one of my viewers said, is there even an Agenda Free TV anymore? There's been all these big stories. And I said to the viewer, I said, okay, well then tell me. Okay, tell me the big stories that we would normally cover on Agenda Free TV and that you haven't seen us cover to make you think that something's happened to the channel. And the viewers said, Trump's speech and coronavirus update. Those were the 2 big stories he said that we would normally cover on Agenda Free TV. Trump's speech and coronavirus update. Not anything big about the coronavirus, just coronavirus update. So clearly that person just had a wrong idea about some very mistaken idea of what the kind of things we normally cover on Agenda Free TV. Anyways. Okay, let's talk about some of the stories that are going on today. Now that we've gotten that out of the way. Yeah, C. Prowse says daily run-of-the-mill shootings. Yeah, I'm not going to linger on this. There apparently was a shooting at a mall, at a Macy's at a mall in Georgia. You can see this is the, here, I'll show you the tweet about it. But unfortunately, there's shootings around the country. I mean, it happens. Let's see here. Yeah, so Sean Gables, shooting reported at South Lake Mall in Morrow, Georgia. Large police presence at the mall. One person has been taken away in a stretcher. Eyewitnesses say the incident took place inside a Macy's. So there's that. Ugh. Dr. Meme says, I guess the lab leak isn't a big story. Yeah, because there's no real good evidence either way. So if there's conclusive evidence that comes out about the origins of the coronavirus, I'll cover it. If there's speculation and lots of experts saying we're not even sure what happened, I'm not going to cover that. So yes. Maybe you should go to speculation TV where they can speculate about it constantly live. And then there was this other thing, so that's unfortunate, that shooting. And then I don't know the exact story. Then there was one at a Publix. This looks like it might have been domestic to me. 3 dead, including suspect in shooting at a Publix supermarket in Florida. And a child died. A man, a woman, and a child. So I wonder if it was domestic. A shooting at a Publix left 3 dead in Florida. This is NBC News. It occurred shortly after 11:30 a.m. inside a Publix in Royal Palm Beach, about 50 miles west of Palm Beach. The 3 victims were 1 man, 1 woman, and 1 child. And the shooter did die. So I'm just wondering if it was a domestic thing. Yeah, here's an update from WPTV. 3 dead, including child. Toddler killed in shooting. This report, spokeswoman Terry Barbara said it occurred at the corner. So is it next to the market? This says inside a Publix grocery store. Blah, 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 blah. 3 people dead from gunshot wounds, including the shooter. The shooter is one of the people who died. Palm Beach County Commissioner said the deceased child is a toddler. It's terrible. So anyways, I would be surprised if it turned out that the shooter did not know the other 2 victims. Well, the 2 victims. But I'll let you know if I hear more. Fahrenheit 451 says sounds domestic. So condolences to the families of the people who died. Linda says, may the poor victims rest in peace. Thank you, Linda Belk. She is moderating. We also got Knight Rider Tunes and Lucker Lloyd and Censor watching on Twitter as well. Okay, let's see. If you have comments, write to me on Twitter at Lookner. Newsy says, are you going to cover the Jerusalem flag march on Tuesday? Well, I'm not going to go on and do a live stream about it. I can't show it. I don't have footage of it. Look, basically, my understanding of this is that there's going to be right-wing, people in Israel marching. I'm guessing right wing in that the sense in that like they I'll open up an article and get you the actual. But they're probably like people who are pro settlements and anti letting Palestinians have a state, maybe something like that. People who lean that way are going to march in Jerusalem in areas that are provocative for Arabs, for Palestinians, where they march through. So look, yes, there's going to be a march by Jews in places where Palestinians don't want them to march. Fine. I will keep an eye on it. If something huge happens, I will do coverage of it. But given that I can't show video of it, I don't have a live stream, I don't even know what that live coverage would entail. So am I supposed to just go on the air for 4 hours and say they're marching now? We haven't heard anything yet. I'll let you know. So again, I will keep an eye out on it, and if something huge happens, maybe we'll do a live stream. But people say, cover this, and it's like, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want the coverage to be? Me sitting here and just saying, I'm aware this is going on for 4 straight hours? Okay, this is what we're talking about. Jerusalem Post flag march to go ahead after Netanyahu against reach agreement. This is from yesterday. The controversial Jerusalem flag march will go ahead on Tuesday, June 15th. It is going through it's a march through the old city of Jerusalem. The march was viewed as a possible way to set off violence on the eve of the surrender, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to get you some background on the march. Here, look, here. Israel approves flag march to Jerusalem's old city. BBC. Palestinians see this march as a provocation. The militant group Hamas has warned that the march could trigger a new round of conflict in Gaza should it proceed. The annual Jerusalem Day flag march marks Israel's capture of East Jerusalem, home to the Old City and its holy sites, in the 1967 Middle East War. East Jerusalem was controlled by Palestinians from 1948 to 1967. Many Palestinians think that East Jerusalem should be part of the capital of a Palestinian state. Hundreds of flag-waving Israeli youths usually make their way through the Muslim quarter via Damascus Gate, chanting and singing patriotic songs. So anyways, I don't have exact information here on the exact belief of the people taking part in the march, but it's patriotic Jews, Israeli Jews, marching in an area that Palestinians feel is provocative. So again, if big things come out of this, I will keep an eye on it. Then someone said, how about the Hamas threat? Hamas makes threats all the time. I don't cover Hamas threats. The run-of-the-mill Hamas threats. If there's big developments, we'll cover it. Okay. Again, you can reach me on Twitter @Lookner. Yeah, again, here's an update about this. I see misleading posts about this on social media. Yes, there was a shooting at the South Lake Mall in Georgia. No, it is not an active shooting. Morrow Fire Department Chief Roger Swint said one person was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound. This is from 11 Alive in Morrow, Georgia. Another reporter said it happened in a Macy's. This was an interesting story. Did you guys see this? JBS paid $11 million to resolve ransomware attack. So, there's been these two major ransomware attacks in the U.S. recently. There was the one on, my brain isn't working, on Colonial Pipeline, which shut down a major gas pipeline. And then they paid, what was it, about $5 million in ransom. And then the authorities were able to recover it somehow. I think the authorities recovered most of the ransom. I haven't heard that any of this has been recovered yet. But I gotta say, I have to imagine that if these ransomware attacks happen and you have multi-million-dollar ransoms being paid, that would certainly encourage more ransomware attacks. I certainly understand why the companies pay. It just seems obvious that if these attacks happen and they're very public and you have headlines like this, more people will try to do them. Stuart Clark says, wrong move, they shouldn't pay. Like, why wouldn't criminals look to do this? Also, even and then you might say, well, they recovered most of the first ransom, but did anyone get arrested for that? Supposedly they were overseas, so I haven't heard that anyone got arrested for the first ransomware attack. No, there was no money's been recovered from this one. This is a different one. No, there's no active shooter in Georgia. Dwayne says, is there an active shooter in Georgia? No, I just said it's not active. We talked about it twice. It's not active. There's plenty of misleading posts on social media which claim it's still active. It's not active. Sunshine in Arizona also thinks you're going to have more ransomware attacks when you have these big... this is like in a week and a half, you have a 5 million ransom and 11 million ransom paid. This is interesting, though. So, Wall Street Journal, JBS, the meat company, paid an $11 million ransom to cybercriminals. It was made to shield JBS plants from further disruption and to limit the potential impact on restaurants, grocery stores, and farmers. The head of the company said, we did the right thing for our customers. It was painful, though. The attack on JBS was part of a wave of ransomware attacks in which companies are hit with demands for multi-million-dollar payments to regain control of their operating systems. The attacks show how hackers have shifted from targeting data-rich companies such as retailers, banks, and insurers to essential service providers such as hospitals, transport operators, and food companies. The FBI last week attributed the JBS ransomware attack to Revil, a criminal ransomware gang. It isn't clear yet how the attackers accessed JBS's systems, according to the company. The FBI officially discourages companies hit by ransomware attacks from paying hackers, arguing that doing so supports a booming criminal industry and that often the decryption tools given in exchange for ransom don't work. But senior officials in the Biden administration have said in recent weeks they recognize the decision is tough for companies and have generally avoided condemning the practice. There's discussion here of whether Congress would ever pass a law saying, if Congress wanted to, they could pass a law saying companies can't pay these ransoms. But I don't know that there's any serious chance of that happening. Stewart thinks it was an inside job. Chris Lund says, imagine what would happen if they didn't pay it just like the gas pipeline. That could have been a real disaster if continued. So look, I understand. I fully understand why they pay and the cost of having a pipeline shut down or a meatpacking plant shut down. The problem is, though, if the ransom paid now encourages lots more attacks in the future, then fine. Maybe things are a little better off now because the ransom was paid, but you're also there's cost to society in the future, right? So maybe for the moment it makes things better, but in the long term it makes things worse. It just seems obvious to me that nobody's getting arrested for these things that we've heard. And if nobody's getting arrested for these things, and there's huge headlines about how many millions of dollars get paid in ransom just soon after these attacks, you're going to have lots of very smart criminals trying to do it. Why wouldn't they? Nobody's been arrested, as far as I know. Let me take some more comments on this. Hey, I owe a thank you, by the way. Thank you to, what happened to it? Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Hey, thank you, Kay Gebhardt. Kay Gebhardt says, love the news roundup. Thank you, Steve. Much love to the mods. Thank you, Kay Gebhardt. Thank you for shouting out the mods. The Twitchy Golem, our viewer, says it emboldens capable criminals when it looks this easy. By the way, going back to that march thing, the flag march that's going to take place, well, it's going to be after Netanyahu leaves. So just to be clear, On the Sidewalk guy said maybe they're trying to spark some kind of conflict before Netanyahu has to leave. So this flag march here is going to happen after Sunday. Next week. Where is it here? June 15th. So we talked about this last news roundup. Prime Minister Netanyahu, if nothing changes, on Sunday will stop being prime minister because a majority of the Israeli parliament has agreed to name somebody else prime minister, to form a new government. So Netanyahu and his allies have been trying to do what they can to stop that from happening on Sunday. On Sunday, the parliament will have their official vote on this. So what On the Sidewalk guy is saying is maybe some people were hoping that this march would take place before Sunday, this march of Jews through this area where Palestinians don't want them to march, and that there would be hostilities, and somehow that would affect the vote on Sunday, and Netanyahu wouldn't get voted out of office. But this march isn't going to take place until next week, Tuesday, which would be after Sunday. Sorry, I missed your comment before On the Sidewalk guy. Creta is watching from Holland. Hang on a second. The Lucky Blackbird says, Bibi has been prime minister forever, it seems. I want to go back to there was an interesting article about, let's see if I can find this. I wanted to show you something about how the authorities got back a bunch of the ransom from the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack. So Colonial Pipeline was the victim of a ransomware attack. They paid several $1 million in ransom, but federal authorities got a bunch of it back. And you might wonder, well, how did they get it back? And there's been some articles about how they might have gotten it back. So this is from the New York Times. I just saw this. The Justice Department said it had traced and seized much of the ransom that a major U.S. pipeline operator paid to a Russian hacking collective last month. Officials said that a new FBI task force had recaptured most of the bitcoins by, in essence, hacking the hackers. The hackers moved the ransom money through dozens of anonymous accounts, which can be tracked on the blockchain, the public ledger of all Bitcoin transactions. Eventually, the funds landed into an account that a federal judge allowed the FBI to break into. According to court documents, the feds got the account's private key, a crucial password that gives the owner complete control over the funds inside. So basically, what they're saying is, once the ransom got paid, and the hackers had it, they started moving it through different accounts. And there's a public record of all Bitcoin transactions. You might not know who, the public record doesn't say who owns which account, but it'll say like this much Bitcoin has been transferred to this account. This much Bitcoin has been transferred to this account. And the account might be like the account is identified by a number or a string of characters or whatever. And so basically, somehow the U.S., the ransom money ended up in an account where the U.S. somehow was able to get control of that account and basically act like it was the owner of the account, which it wasn't, but it got control of the account. So it transferred the money, basically. What they probably did is this transferred the money out of the hacker's account back to the FBI account, so to speak, and then they gave it back to the company. Tom Robinson of the blockchain analytics company Elliptic wrote in a blog post that the account the feds took over appeared to hold the 85% share of the ransom that went to the client of DarkSide, the Russian ransomware as service hacking group. The remaining 15% was funneled through accounts presumably controlled by DarkSide developers. But it's not exactly clear how. So basically, the federal government, the federal authorities got control of this. If you have a Bitcoin account, if you want to send any of your Bitcoin to somebody else, you have to. If you have your own account, not if you maintain the account yourself, like on your own computer, you have to have like a private password you use. So before you can send any Bitcoin to somebody, you have to like put in this password. Somehow the federal government got the hacker's private password and used their password to send their ransom money back to the U.S. Basically, that's what happened. But how the U.S. authorities got that private password, we're not sure. And I don't know, I don't know how replicatable that strategy is for other ransomware attacks. Like, will the U.S. be able to? I'm assuming now that like the U.S. authorities got back that ransomware, I'm assuming future ransomware attackers will try to find some way to not be hacked by the U.S. authorities. You see what I'm saying? If you're a ransomware hacker now, what you're going to do is say, the U.S. got back that ransom. How did they do that? Well, I'm not going to let them do that to me. So I don't know that the U.S. can just do that again. I have no idea how they did it. Let me know your thoughts. Stuart thinks it's recovering Bitcoin is easier than you think. Well, in this case, they were able to get the hacker's password for their Bitcoin account, basically. Linda says, I'm glad they were able to hack the hackers. Hang on a second here. Shaggy says, thanks to the internet, we're as vulnerable as a daisy in a tornado. Get some other username says the Ireland Health Service got hacked, which is true, but didn't pay and info got leaked. I didn't hear what happened to that. Di Reed says, I heard Bitcoin is easy to trace. Well, the thing is, there was an interesting article about this, which I was trying to find. Yeah, so this is from the New York Times. Pipeline investigation upends idea that Bitcoin is untraceable. So, Bitcoin transactions. There is a public list of all Bitcoin transactions ever. Every time Bitcoin goes from one account to another account, that's added to the list of transactions. That list is called the blockchain. Now, the list doesn't tell you who owns which account. You know, for simplicity's sake, it'll say account 127 transferred 5 Bitcoin to account 579. Now, the account names aren't that simple, but it doesn't give you names. But every Bitcoin transaction is listed. You can't sneak off with some Bitcoin and throw it in another account and have nobody know about it. It's going to be on the blockchain ledger. So that does make Bitcoin traceable in a way that, say, cash isn't. Not every cash transaction is listed on some public ledger. If I walk up to somebody who I know in secret and give them a $20 bill, there's no public record of that unless we're like on film or something. So in that sense, it helps tracing it. The trick is you need to figure out who owns the accounts that are listed on the public record of which accounts have Bitcoins. That's what this article talks about. It says Bitcoin transactions are not as hard to track as cyber criminals think. Bitcoin is traceable. While the digital currency can be created, moved, and stored outside of the purview of any government or financial institution, each payment is recorded in a permanent fixed ledger called the blockchain. That means all Bitcoin transactions are out in the open. The Bitcoin ledger can be viewed by anyone who is plugged into the blockchain. Jeff says the terrorists may convert it to Monero, which is harder to trace. I was reading about Monero. See if I can find you something about that. I was just reading about Monero. See, this article mentions it. CNBC, Monero is an increasingly popular option for ransoms. Monero is considered more of a privacy token and allows cybercriminals greater freedom from some of the tracking tools and mechanisms that the Bitcoin blockchain brings. Then here's an article from The Economist, which mentions Monero. Monero tries to make it hard to link flows to a fixed identity, trace funds, or observe transaction size. So Monero is a cryptocurrency that tries to be more secretive than Bitcoin. Yeah, Tony, I saw that story about Electronic Arts being hacked. I don't know how big a deal that is. The Verge, EA, Electronic Arts got hit by a data breach and hackers are selling source code. The EA has fallen victim to hackers who made away with the source code to FIFA 21, the Frostbite engine, and other game development tools. Source code is a big deal in programming, so it's a big deal when companies lose control over it. And the gaming industry has seen some huge thefts recently. Hackers being able to see the inner workings of a game or engine could help them craft cheats or cracks. It could also reveal secret projects and game ideas or developer comments that companies would rather not see the light of day. That's from The Verge. Stewart says Monero still use internet and computers, all traceable. And a couple of our viewers mentioned the Irish hack. I wanted to check up on that. What is this? May 21st. Hackers bail out Irish health service for free. Hackers responsible for causing widespread disruption to the Irish health system have unexpectedly gifted it with a tool to help it recover. Reportedly, the group was asking the Irish Health Service for $20 million. Now the criminals have handed over the software tool for free. Conti is still... What is this? The Conti ransomware group was still threatening to publish or sell data it is stolen until a ransom is paid. This is from like several weeks ago. Is there a more up-to-date article about this? I don't have an up-to-date article. This was a few weeks ago. Stewart says they never used the software. If you have an update on that, let me know. M2 Fighting Vehicle says, having the FBI hack the money away from the guys that shut down infrastructure. Then he says, think this is a good thing for society. I think he or she's asking a question. Do you think it's a good thing for society? The question is, I think the question he's asking is, do you think it's a good thing for society that the FBI is hacking into Bitcoin accounts and stealing the money back? I'm open to hearing discussion of it. I mean, you know, I could imagine there being arguments on both sides. Ooh, what happened? By the way, I just noticed something. You know what I just noticed? I just noticed something I have to fix. I see why this happened. Hold on. So first of all, the ticker needs to get fixed. Hang on. See the ticker? It's all off. The ticker text. See how off it is? All right, let's fix this. That's better. Yeah, that was weird. Hold on. Yeah, see, the ticker's all off. I got to fix the ticker. I know what happened. I fixed it on the other broadcasts, and I just never fixed it on this one. That's fixed. Oh, that one we got to fix. I just noticed it. I was like, that looks crazy. That's too low. That's what we want right here. Done. Oh, also, I got to fix something else. Oh, now it's there. Hang on 1 second here. I got to do one more thing. I think the ticker is now fixed. Now I got to do one other thing here too. Give me 1 second here. I think we're good now. Okay. We're good. Then the other thing that I have to do is, this is small too, but see, everything got a little screwed up. See where it says live? That's also low. That's better. Look at that. Almost done. Better. Fine. Thanks for your patience. We got it all fixed. No, I don't think, I think everything else is the way it's supposed to be. Hey, thanks to our moderators, we have Melissa McQueen, and we have Sarah Joy, and we have Lady Edith. They're all there. Danny James is moderating. Angel Shark. Linda Belk is moderating. Thank you. And Ellie Bourne and Idaho Star are moderating. "123 Repeat says, if EA got hacked, should I change my Origin account password or nah? The story I read said there was not EA user data that was hacked. So I'd listen to what EA says. Okay. So unfortunately, I would just be surprised if there weren't more ransomware attacks soon. The Iran ship story is kind of interesting. Politico, Defense Secretary concerned about Iranian ships transferring arms to Venezuela. But a Pentagon official said they're not currently drawing up plans to conduct an intercept in international waters. there are these ships from Iran going to Venezuela. They're in the Atlantic Ocean now, I believe. Hold on. So here's Iran. Here's Iran. And then Venezuela is down here. It's going from Iran to Venezuela. Politico says the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he is concerned about Iranian Navy ships currently steaming across the Atlantic and possibly transferring weapons to Venezuela. That's the first time the Pentagon chief has spoken publicly about the ship's movement. Some senators are also concerned. Senator Richard Blumenthal said allowing the ships to dock in Venezuela would be significant on many levels, including it would mark the first time Iranian naval vessels had completed the arduous journey across the Atlantic. Austin declined to answer Blumenthal's questions about what weapons are on board the ships, saying he would provide information in a closed session. Politico first reported last week U.S. officials have been monitoring 2 Iranian Navy ships that sailed down the east coast of Africa around the Cape of Good Hope and are now heading northwest across the Atlantic. The intelligence community has evidence that Macron, one of the ships, is carrying fast attack boats, likely intended for sail to Venezuela, said Politico. The Biden administration has been urging Venezuela and Cuba through diplomatic channels to turn away the ships, while vowing the U.S. will take appropriate measures to deter what it sees as a threat. So will the U.S. allow these ships to dock in Venezuela and unload their cargo? A senior administration official said, "We reserve the right to take appropriate measures in coordination with our partners to deter the transit or delivery of such weapons." Lawmakers speculated that Iran might be trying to test the nascent, is it nascent? Young? Either nascent or nascent. Nascent Biden administration, but it comes as Washington and Tehran are holding indirect talks in Vienna, so blah, 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 blah. This may be a first testing blow by Iran as to whether they can get away with it and make mischief, said Senator Blumenthal. A defense official said the Pentagon is not currently drawing up plans to monitor the ships more closely using air or naval assets in the region or to conduct an intercept in international waters. We'll see what happens. Oh, hold on. I need to time a nutty person out. Judy Truitt says, who gave the U.S. right to police the seas in South America? Well, the U.S. would probably say, we have a right to defend ourselves. And they might say that these weapons are too much of a threat to the U.S. I assume that's what they'd say if they didn't let the ships land. Linda says they should be handling it. I'm guessing they know exactly what's on the ships. I would be shocked if the U.S. didn't know exactly what was on the ships. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'll let you know if there's more developments on that. Next Spike says U.S. is the biggest weapons dealer in the world, has a problem with other countries selling weapons. Well, I think the specific problem would be with Iran. Also, I could see the U.S. not wanting to allow a precedent of Iranian ships to go into the Atlantic. They might see that as a big deal, and to bring stuff directly to other countries. U.S. might feel that's too big of a deal. Rude Boy Lexi says 2 countries just doing a transaction like the U.S. and Israel would. So something to keep an eye on. This is an interesting story. This is a really interesting. We haven't talked about this yet. I want to talk about this story next. You are watching the live news roundup. Oh, by the way, hold on a second here. I owe a thank you to someone. I owe a thank you. Somebody just donated Bitcoin. But I don't know who it was. Who was it? So, I got to announce this on AFTV sometime, Agenda Free TV. Well, when I'm on YouTube. I'm on Agenda Free TV on the other platforms, but on YouTube I'm on Agenda Free TV 2 right now. But since I started doing news online on Agenda Free TV, people have asked, can we do, every once in a while, somebody says, can I donate crypto? And I have to say no. Well, thanks to the help of one of our viewers, Sean TV, he helped me set it up. We can now accept crypto donations. So people who do want it, sometimes people say, I want to donate in crypto, but that's the only way I want to donate. You can now donate crypto. So I just got a message that somebody donated crypto, but I don't know who it was. Let's see. Let's see here. Hang on a second here. Somebody donated like $5 in crypto. It's very nice of them, in Bitcoin. So Chris says, how did they get your wallet? So on the stream, somebody might have watched the stream last night. On the stream on my personal channel last night, I gave out my there's like a public address. If you want to receive crypto from somebody else, you just give out this public address and the person can send it to that address. It's not sensitive information. But I just got an email saying that it tells you got this Bitcoin. It's like 0.0001 whatever Bitcoin. But they don't tell you who it is. Right? So I hope the person tells me. Anyways, so, but what I'm working on doing, again, this is not going to affect like 99% of you. But for those of you who might want to donate Bitcoin or Doge or whatever, I'm going to try to get a web page set up where I can say, go to this web page, and anybody who wants to can go and look up the addresses, like the public keys. I wonder if I can just like post it right now. Just to show you what it would look like. If I can, I don't know if it'll all fit in the chat messages. But what I'll do is, a lot of you are regular viewers anyway, so just to give you a heads up about what's going on. Let me do this. Let me try posting it let me try posting it in the chat. If I make a big message, we now accept. Let's see if this works. Well, can I fit this into a chat message? All right, I'm going to try to post it in YouTube. Let's see if this works. Hang on. Ooh. It was too long. I gotta. Here's what I'll do. See, I just posted it. Oh, Sarah Joy posted it. Sarah Joy posted it. Okay, in YouTube, and then I'll post it on the other platform, and I can post it on Facebook and Twitch, just so people, if anybody's interested. But again, the information I'm posting is not sensitive information. It's a public address for your account. There it is. Thank you, Sarah Joy. And again, thank you whoever it was that donated the Bitcoin. I know who it was. Guys, I figured it out, I think. So I set up the account on just Coinbase, which is a huge, they handle people's, Bitcoin, crypto wallets, right? And I guess I just got an email from them right now saying, I guess if you set up an account with them, they give you like $5 in Bitcoin, right? And I think what happened is the $5 donation I got was actually the reward for setting up my account. Because 5 minutes after saying I got the Bitcoin, I got an email saying your reward is here for setting up your account. So it was actually not a donation. It was just a reward for setting up my account. But they didn't tell me it was the reward for setting up my account until 5 minutes after they told me the Bitcoin had just gotten there. So that's why I got $5 in Bitcoin. I found Waldo says, what can you do with it if it's donated? So if anybody out there, if you have crypto, you can, if you want to, you can sell it and just convert it into cash. So that's something somebody could do. Right. Underdog Rising says you can convert the Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency to US dollars by selling it. Again, I'm just mentioning it because once in a while people have asked and I've always had to say no. So thanks to Sean, I can now say yes. I'm not planning on discussing this a lot. I don't really want to interfere with the broadcast, but hopefully we'll have like a website where I can just, once in a while a message will pop up in the chat and it'll say, if you want to donate crypto, go to this website and you can find, the links to donate the crypto. But again, sometimes people ask, so I'm just letting you know. Anyways, sorry for the interruption. Chris says, frantically looks for my welcome bonus. Yeah, I just got mine. Nano. Is Nano a cryptocurrency? If there's a cryptocurrency you want to donate in and it's not one of those four, message me because I might be able to. I might already be able to accept it, and I can give you a link. Message me on Twitter. Anyways, Michelle says you can put the details in the stream notes. I'd rather not have them there. And if it's a web page link, once I get the web page, then I can put the web page link there. All right. Let's move on. You're watching Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2. On YouTube, it's Agenda Free TV 2. On YouTube, my main channel is called Agenda Free TV. So this is Agenda Free TV 2. But on YouTube, my main channel is Agenda Free TV. So when we cover like a big single news story, we cover it Agenda Free TV. So you might want to check out if you didn't know about it. And this is a news roundup. Once in a while, when there's not like one big news story, we do a news roundup where we talk about different news stories. And most importantly, we take your comments on the air. So I'm reading your comments. You can write to me on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter, if you have a comment on any of the stories. Thank you, The Princess. The Princess says, check out the huge raids going out in California right now of drug cartels. Hundreds of millions of dollars seized and many arrested. That's what The Princess says. Thank you, The Princess. KTLA says, deputies plan to bulldoze 500 illegal marijuana grows in Antelope Valley after massive bust. Authorities seize tens of millions of dollars of illegal marijuana. yesterday. 23 people were arrested. This is 70 miles north of Los Angeles. Officials plan to bulldoze 500 illegal grows. This is interesting. The massive bust was partly in response to residents' complaints of water being stolen. The largest grow had more than 70 greenhouses over 10 acres, with an estimated marijuana crop worth $50 million. Wow. The sheriff said unspecified cartels operating the illegal marijuana grows were stealing millions of gallons of water. They were taking water from wells maintained by alfalfa, potato, and carrot farmers in the middle of the night, as well as breaking fire hydrants and operating their own illegal wells. That's really interesting. They were stealing millions of gallons of water, said the sheriff. How about that? Maybe that was the big issue that got the action taken, is the stealing of the water. Jay Tay says they need to stop going after pot and growers unless it's causing problems. In this case, it sounded like, from what the sheriff said, a big problem was stealing millions of gallons of water. Rage King says federal legalization would end cartel grows. Would it? I mean, I would assume it depends on how much the legal weed costs. If you were to legalize weed throughout the country, if it was taxed a lot and people could grow it and sell it for less than people could legally buy it, I'm sure you'd have marijuana grows, because there'd be a lot of money to be made by undercutting the sale price of the legal marijuana. The princess said they were threatening residents. It actually mentions violence in that article too. Hold on, sorry. See, down here it says, the illegal grows breed violence, said the sheriff, citing several murders related to Antelope Valley's black market. That doesn't say anything about threatening residents. I don't know, maybe that was happening. GK says same with indoor grows that steal millions in power. Jeff Haas says that's the problem here in Illinois. Legal weed is very expensive. I didn't know it's called a marijuana grow. This is LA Daily News, same story. I think this is literally the same story. Yeah, it's the exact same story. The princess says she heard they were going on people's properties and stealing water. One resident had a gun pointed at them. They tried to intimidate reporters yesterday. Thank you again, the princess, for your support. Linda says that's awesome news. There's a weird thing going on here. What's going on here? Oh, I'm sorry. The Facebook chat wasn't showing up. Now I can see it. John Elliott says, here in Ontario, you can legally grow 4 plants per household. Helene says they're in a serious drought there. Oh, Roxanne is moderating. Hey, Roxanne, thank you. I didn't see you there. I couldn't see the Facebook chat for like most of the stream. I was like, why can't I see it? Now I can see it. Bob Meyer is there. TJ Stanley, I spoke about Georgia before. There was a shooting at a mall. 1 person was taken to the hospital. Person shot. Person. 1 person was taken to the hospital. Who knows? I'm guessing it was a fight or something, or a robbery. This was hours ago. 1 reporter said it was at a Macy's. Next Bike says, I buy it at the store for convenience. Pot dealers were always unreliable. Okay. Hold on a second here. Another kooky person I had to time out. We got some kooky people. We got some kooky people in the chat. Next story. We're moving on. Next story. Oh, I want to talk about the Alzheimer's story. That's what I want to talk about. There's this really odd story where the FDA gave like some degree of approval to this Alzheimer's drug, which there's conflicting evidence. There's not great evidence that it works. And then a big issue is now that the FDA has approved it, it's going to result in all of this like health insurance money, like Medicare money being spent on it, and it might not help anyone. You could have huge amounts of taxpayer money spent on Medicare recipients getting this Alzheimer's drug when it's not even clear that it works, which is certainly it's a big deal if you have lots of taxpayer money in the Medicare program going to something that might not work. So I just saw this today from Stat. 3rd member of FDA expert committee resigns over controversial Alzheimer's therapy decision. Because the advisory committee, I think, said don't approve it. A 3rd member of an FDA expert panel has resigned over FDA's contentious approval of an Alzheimer's therapy, a sign of growing backlash over the decision. Oh. I actually know this person. I know this person from years ago. I haven't spoken to him lately. Aaron Kesselheim. Very smart guy. I think he's like a doctor and a professor. Aaron Kesselheim said that the approval of Biogen's drug was probably the worst drug approval decision in recent U.S. history. It is clear to me that FDA is not presently capable of adequately integrating the committee's scientific recommendations into its approval decisions. wrote Kesselheim. He is the director of Brigham and Women's Hospital's program on regulation, therapeutics, and law. Kesselheim's resignation follows those of a neurologist from the Mayo Clinic and a neurologist from WashU in St. Louis. During the advisory panel's November hearing on this Alzheimer's therapy, 10 of the 11 expert members voted there was not enough evidence to show that this therapy could slow cognitive decline, recommending against its approval. The 11th voted uncertain. 10 of the 11 people said no, and 1 voted uncertain. However, Monday, the FDA granted the drug an accelerated approval based on the drug's ability to clear toxic protein plaques in patients' brains. A regulatory route that FDA officials told the advisory committee in November was not being considered. The FDA acknowledged that the drug had not demonstrated a clear clinical benefit, but argued that by removing the plaques, it is reasonably likely to predict a clinical benefit to patients. Research has found that the FDA has gone against its expert advisory committees about 1 in 5 times in recent years. But generally, such overrulings occur when the votes are much closer, not 10 no's and 1 uncertain. But again, you might say, well, who cares if they approve it? The problem, if the FDA approves a drug for use that doesn't actually help anyone, this is an expensive drug. So you could have money that ends up getting spent, lots of taxpayer money that gets spent on this drug that would otherwise go to other things. Jeff Ha thinks it never should have been approved. This was from yesterday. This is the Washington Post. 2 members of an FDA advisory committee quit. Now a third one has quit. The FDA decision to approve the drug set off a firestorm because critics say there is scant evidence the drug is effective. The agency cleared the medication basing the approval not on the clinical data, on the actual when they tested on people to see if it works, but on the drug's ability to reduce this thing in the brain. Agency officials said since the drug seems to reduce the sticky clumps, it was reasonably likely to benefit patients. Opponents of the action said it represented a dangerous lowering of drug approval standards for a medication Biogen said will be priced at about $56,000 per patient per year. See, look, New York Times on this. Because Alzheimer's primarily affects older people, most costs of the drug are expected to fall onto Medicare's Part B program. Medicare has not yet said how it would cover the drug and its associated costs. Stuart Clark says the board has another agenda. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing, like, what was pushing the board to approve it. I mean, look, if something might work, the benefit of approving something, if it works, that it helps people. The problem is there's unclear evidence that it actually works. Jeff says this is the first Alzheimer's drug approved in 20 years. Most companies have given up on it. Chris says, how long has this been in trial? I don't know the history of the trials. I just know article after article says that there's dubious evidence that it works. And then, 10 of the 11 people on the advisory panel for the FDA did not approve it, did not say it shouldn't be approved. And one said it was uncertain. The Lucky Blackbird says the FDA approval should be reassessed. I wonder, this story is getting a lot of publicity. I wonder if they might ever go back on their decision, the FDA. Underdog Rising thinks it's the FDA's close relationship with Big Pharma. Jeff says Biogen stock soared on this. People have already made money on this. Well, Biogen stands to make a lot of money by selling it. Deborah Jacobs thinks someone or several people are anxious to push the drug through. Learn and Earn, we already talked about the Iranian ships. You have to rewind the broadcast about half an hour. Tony says, are FDA employees allowed to have stocks from pharmaceutical companies? I don't know. I haven't heard any accusation that FDA employees personally benefited from this, but I have no idea. It's getting a lot of press now. Icheda says people with Alzheimer's literally have nothing to lose. I think the idea of that drug is it's supposed to slow the onset of Alzheimer's. Like it's not supposed to cure Alzheimer's if you already have significant Alzheimer's. The drug is New York Times says the drug is intended to slow cognitive decline in people with mild memory and thinking problems. It's the first approved treatment to attack the disease process of Alzheimer's instead of just addressing dementia symptoms. The Facebook chat is messed up. I have to send them feedback. Give feedback. Something is not working. I am doing a live video now and watching, and new comments don't show up in the chat window. I have to refresh the window in my browser. And then the new comments that have been posted since I last refreshed. Can you please fix? Link to my stream. Yeah, there's this weird issue going on Facebook where I'm like, because I have the chat open, and there's just no comments that get posted. And then I have to, yeah. So Roxanne, our viewer, it's a Facebook issue. Roxanne just sent me a message. So anybody on Facebook who's having this problem, including Roxanne, please click on send feedback and just send a message to Facebook. Just say what's happening. That's literally what I just did, because that way they'll know. So on Facebook, what's happening is, it's like the chat is frozen. And to see any comments people post, you literally have to refresh your web browser. And then you see all the comments people have posted. And you're like, oh, I didn't realize they had posted. So I can't see the chats as they get, I have to keep refreshing my web browser to see the comments. Yeah, John Elliott, it's actually 3 experts have now resigned over that reproval. What is this person doing? Hang on. Why are they posting that stuff? Ann Powell thinks the pharmaceutical industry is corrupt. Helene says Roxanne says $56,000 a year for this drug. Thank you, Haniel Vargas, for your support. Thank you, Haniel. Now, some people on Facebook are seeing the messages pop up as they happen. I am not. Maybe they work on the phone. I'm looking at a web browser and it's not working. Stephanie Hoffman says, if these people in the FDA had this, they would want to have the drug, anything to stay alive. Look, I certainly think people might want to take it if they think it might work. The problem is that someone has to pay for it. There's not infinite money. The U.S. government doesn't have infinite money to spend on healthcare. So if lots of money starts getting spent on this drug, that presumably means less will get spent on other things. And if there's not good evidence that a drug works, you'd rather the money not get spent on it, because I'm guessing it would be more likely to do good being spent on other things. Ooh, someone sent me something. Hey, someone made like a $5 Bitcoin donation, but I don't know who it was. So whoever donated to the channel $5 worth of Bitcoin, that's very kind of you. I appreciate it. I don't know who it was. We're gonna have to do a thing if somebody donates via crypto, they have to message me. Well, if they want me to shout them out, they have to let me know who they are. Betty Nelson is having trouble with the Facebook chat as well. So thank you, whoever sent that. Anonymous person. No, that wasn't my reward for opening account. That was somebody else. Okay. Stuart Paul Newby is watching from Wakefield, England. All right, let's move on. Different story. Time for a different story. That's a very interesting story, though. Bradley, I'm not using the Facebook app. I'm on the web. That's the problem. Dart Tater says, I have to get drug infusions for MS twice a year. Each infusion costs around $50,000. We'll see if anything comes of this. I'm seeing some reporting saying, like Jack Sherman says, senators involved in the bipartisan group discussing infrastructure have reached a bipartisan agreement per statement. The investment would be fully paid for and not include tax increases. Our group of 10 senators, 5 from each party, has worked in good faith and reached a bipartisan agreement on a realistic compromise framework to modernize our nation's infrastructure and energy technologies. We are discussing our approach with our respective colleagues in the White House. Will Congress and the President pass an infrastructure bill? We will see. Oh, hang on, guys, hang on. Give me 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Guys, hang on 1 minute. I apologize. Sorry about that. It was strange. There's a maintenance thing that's got to get fixed at some point. I thought it was maintenance, but it was not. It was just like a delivery. So, we're back. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I wanted to check what's going on with GameStop and what's going on with the meme stocks. Oh, GameStop went down 27% today. How about that? GameStop is this video game retail company that has gone insane this year. Over the last 6 months or so, has gone crazy. And the stock price has gone from 12 at the start of the year to up to 400 or so. And there's no real good reason for it. Many experts say that it's going up because, initially there was this whole thing where there was a short squeeze on the stock, and there was this thing where a lot of people were betting against the stock, and then people started buying the stock, and that made the price go up, and that's called a short squeeze. But that was earlier. Basically, what's happening is that this is one of these meme stocks that has become very popular among online individual traders who go to chat rooms like Wall Street Bets and they discuss stocks. And this has become a favorite of theirs. So many expert after expert say that the stock is trading way, way, way higher than it should ever be trading based on the business fundamentals. But even as of a couple days ago, it was up over 300. See, look. 5 days ago, it was at 337. Actually, no. 2 days ago, it was at 337. Now it's at 220. It went down, in the past day, it went down 27%. But if you look at the 5-year chart, that's the 5-year chart. See how it's in all of 2020, it was around 5. And then early 2020, it was around 12 or so. Then it went up to 400 almost. That's the 5-year chart. Now, Barron says GameStop stock sank despite upbeat news. This is why. This is from today. Plans to sell more stock may have overshadowed some positive news for GameStop. GameStop closed down 27%. While it's possible the meme trade is finally running out of steam, keep in mind this move in GameStop shares mimics its prior earnings release reaction when shares closed down 20-34%, blah, 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 blah. The stock rolled back following the day. This time around, investors weighed better than expected financial results and the naming of new leadership. I mean, they still lost a lot of money in the latest quarter. The company filed to sell 5 million shares at market prices. Stock offerings tend to drag down the price of existing shares. So what they're saying is this. So GameStop is a public company. That means the stockholders own the company. And if you have a share of stock, you own part of the company. The more shares of stock there are, the less each share owns of the company. If a company has only 100 shares of stock, then everybody owns 1% of the company who has a share. If a company has 1 million shares of stock out there, then every share is 1/1,000,000th of the company. So what a company can do if they want to raise money is they can issue more shares. They can say, hey, we're going to issue 5 million more shares of stock, right? And then people will buy the shares of stock and the company will get the money. But the problem is, if they issue more stock, that means everybody else who previously owned a share of stock owns less of the company than they did before, because there's now more shares of stock out there. That's why if a company issues more shares of stock, the stock price can go down because each share of stock is worth less of a percentage of the company. So they're arguing that maybe the reason the stock went down is because of this announcement they were going to sell, all these new shares of stock. I have no idea about this. The stock is trading so much higher than the business fundamentals would suggest it should. I can't tell you the day-to-day why it's going up or down. Hold on a second here. Let me just do this real quick. And then, how did AMC? AMC is another meme stock. AMC also went down a bunch today. This is another company that's trading way higher than experts say it should, based on the business fundamentals. If you look at the 1 year chart here, look at the 5 year chart. This is the 1 year chart. So at the end of last year, it was trading at 3. And then it went up to 20 briefly in February, then went back down to like 6. And then it went up to like 60. CNBC says meme stocks hit a wall today with GameStop, AMC, and Clover down big. The meme stock mania created by day trading Reddit crowd fizzled a bit on Thursday. It's easy come, easy go for many speculative names favored by retail investors. Those are individual investors, not big institutions, including AMC and GameStop, as they suffered double-digit losses today. Another red-hot meme stock, Clover Health, which at one point was the focus of the Wall Street Bets message board this week, pulled back 15.3% Thursday. Jeff Haas says still way overpriced. Underdog Rising says AMC is at least using the money to build a better business. We'll see if they do. I believe AMC has issued new stock. So these companies like AMC and GameStop, their stock goes crazy. So they figure, well, we should issue some new shares because people will pay all this money for these shares, and then maybe this new money will help us run our business. Underdog Rising thinks GameStop has been swimming with money for months now, and they haven't really used it to make sure they stay in business. GameStop, a lot of the online investors who are high on GameStop say that they're going to have this new plan. GameStop is known for having it's not a great business these days having retail outlets like in a mall where they sell video games. And now a lot of people download games. They don't go out to the mall and buy a copy of a game. They just download the game. So there's been this question of how is GameStop going to turn around its business? I was just reading an article yesterday saying that they still haven't, saying that GameStop just had an earnings announcement, but on the call with investors, the company did not get specifically say anything more about how their turnaround plan for the company. So we don't know what the big turnaround plan is for GameStop. Margot said, I bought AMC in February. JT said, why would anyone own the stock? Well, someone might believe in the company, or I think a lot of people just think it's going to go up. I think with a lot of these stocks, people buy it because they think the value is going to go up. So they think somebody else is going to buy it. The problem is if that's why lots of people are buying it, then when it starts going down, there's nothing to really prop up the price. Low Roller Scratcher said, check out ORF stock. This was ORF stock today. This was today. ORPH. It started out at 5 and it went up to 65 and now it's at 19. This is one day from 5 to 65 to 19. What's up with this? Market Watch. Orphazyme. Shares of Orphazyme went up over 380%. It's a biopharmaceutical company. But then it went down again. But it's still up on the day. It's up 300% on the day, it says. No, they went up way more than 300%. It opened at 5. It went up about 1,200% or something like that. And now it's still up 300% for the day. The stocks, the company confirmed. Look at this. The company confirmed there was no news released today about the company. The last announcement was May 7th when the company said a pivotal trial of its treatment for Lou Gehrig's disease failed to meet the endpoints. So this stock, Orphazyme, went up. It's up over 300% today, but at one point it was up over like 1,000%. It was up to 60, about 70. It went from 5 to 70. But the company said there's no big news on it today. I haven't been following this. I'm guessing this involved online investors chatting in message boards as well. Look at that. Chris BR thinks GameStop is going to try to make money trying to turn around their business in the used game market. Low Roller Scratcher said Wall Street Bets did not talk about ORF today. Did they miss out on a short squeeze? Fat Vegan says pump and dump. Once again, the Facebook chat, I have to keep refreshing to see the new messages because it's not really working properly. Hey, Jeff Curry is watching. Oh, Jeff Curry, thank you for the stars. That's very kind of you, Jeff. Betty Nelson says, I like your program. I keep missing the beginning. Look, the best way to make sure you don't miss our streams, there's a couple ways. First of all, one thing you can do is follow Agenda Free TV on Twitter. Because all of our streams, whether it's Agenda Free TV or Agenda Free TV's 2, I post on the Twitter, Agenda Free TV, and you can just turn your notifications on. There it is. All of our streams, I post on the Twitter. So that's a really easy thing. Follow it, turn notifications on. That's one thing you can do. Another, probably the best thing you can do is sign up for the Discord. We have a chat for people who enjoy Agenda Free TV, where it's on Discord, where people can chat with each other when we're not on the air. But even if you don't chat, once you sign up, it's free. You get great notifications when we're going on the air. I have a Discord app on my phone, the Discord app on my phone. So whenever we go on the air, whenever I go on the air for a stream, it pops up on my phone, an alert. So join the Discord. That's the best way to make sure that you don't miss any of the streams. The mods can post the link to the Discord. But that's really the best way. Hang on one second here. Hang on one second here. Also, hang on a second here. Let me do this. Okay. If anyone ever wants to be a volunteer moderator, that would be fantastic. Our moderators are all volunteers. You can actually, if you want to do that, you can, if you have any interest, let the mods know and they can give you an email or a link that you can write to for more information. So Roxanne is saying that she can see the chat okay on her phone, maybe on Facebook. Maybe it's a desktop thing. Okay. Let's move on to another story. By the way, in case you missed it, this is happening. I think this came out yesterday. U.S. to donate 500 million COVID vaccine doses to lower income countries. 500 million. This is from Wall Street Journal. The Biden administration plans to donate 500 million vaccine doses produced by Pfizer to the rest of the world. 200 this year and 300 in the first half of next year. What's the population of the world? 7 billion, 8 billion? This would cover about 250 million people. 250 million people. World population, 8 billion? Let's see. 7.674 billion. Oh, Jennifer S. says, I cannot figure out how to do Discord. There is an email you can write to. If you're confused by Discord, there's people who will help you. So if one of the moderators in YouTube can post the email there, because our viewer on YouTube asked. Yes, AFTVFansDiscord@gmail. AFTVFansDiscord, all one word, @gmail.com. Sarah Joy posted that. Just email. Somebody will be happy to help you. Oh, I wanted to mention this. This was sad. I posted about this on Twitter. George the TikTok monkey died. Very sad. His account had 17 million followers. It's a very popular account. Now, let me just show you. Hold on. The account is called Here's Your Monkey Content. Now it has 17.7 million followers. Here's Your Monkey Content, and it would show, I guess it's like somebody who owns a monkey, or owned a monkey, and then people would like send stuff to the monkey, and the owner would give the stuff to the monkey to open the stuff, like presents for the monkey. But the monkey died. The video says that the monkey went to get like a routine a teeth cleaning at the vet, and something went wrong with the anesthesia. And then the monkey ended up dying. Look, here's the account, see? Here's your monkey content. And it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, the video, they were posting videos recently. It wasn't like the monkey was sick. I've seen many of these videos. But George the monkey died. Michelle says, I've cried so much already over George. It was a big surprise. I mean, it couldn't have been more of a surprise in the sense of nobody, like, there was no clue this was going to happen. Claire Bear says, very sad. Very popular account, though. And the way I found out is I just saw the video. I was going through my TikTok feed and the video just popped up and I was like, wait a second, what's the terrible news? UA grad says, I'm so sad about George. On the Sidewalk Guy, it says, is it really necessary for there to be teeth cleanings? I assume that there's things you have to do for monkeys. It doesn't surprise me that you might have to clean their teeth. Went to the vet. Sarah Joy says anesthesia is hard on older animals. Smee says anesthesia is very crucial. Helene Bemis says that is why I worry every time my cat needs a dental cleaning. UA grad says he was 12. Was he 12? I don't know I can't remember if the post said or not. Have there been any articles about that? When I checked before, there weren't any. Maybe somebody's posted an article about it right now. Yeah, here, look, EW.com, see? Georgie boy, viral TikTok monkey with millions of fans dies. Yeah, it said, the post said, George went to the vet for a regular checkup on his teeth. During the checkup, there were complications with the anesthesia, starting a long fight for his life. Through the fight, George was sent thousands of thoughts and prayers with the hope he would make it. I didn't even know he was sick. So I have, maybe that was posted in the comments somewhere, but I didn't know. On June 7th, he passed away. Shilbert says, that's why I always refuse general anesthesia if possible. So condolences to George's family and all of his fans. By the way, a quick thank you to Denise Horton. I appreciate that, Denise. Thanks for your support. Thank you, Denise. The princess said, I had a chihuahua scheduled for this, and the vet told me this was a possibility, and I would have to realize I was trying to be a good parent, pet parent. I left without doing it. By the way, is there any update on this story where authorities said a man in Canada, in London, Ontario, they said this was a hate crime where a man ran over people in a Muslim family. 4 of them died. But we haven't heard the details on why the authorities believe it was a hate crime. So here's an article from CBC News from today. The 20-year-old charged in the fatal truck attack of a Muslim family appeared in court. He did not enter a plea. He told the court he did blah, 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 blah. He said he needs to apply for legal aid. Police say the family was targeted because of their Muslim faith, but we haven't heard why they think that. I don't see anything new in here. I'll keep an eye out and see if there's anything more about that. And sorry about your, I think it's your dog, I Found Waldo. I'm sorry to hear about I Found Waldo. Claire Bear says oral health care is one of the most important in terms of animals, including humans, as far as preventing heart, multiple other conditions caused by poor oral hygiene. Okay, let's see here. Hey, real quick, I want to say thanks to the people who donated. I really appreciate that. And if you ever want to donate to Agenda Free TV or Agenda Free TV 2, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. And as I mentioned before, new thing as a response to requests over the years for us to accept crypto, for me to accept crypto donations, you can now donate in crypto. An anonymous viewer donated some crypto during the broadcast. I still don't know who it was. So we're going to set up a page where you can find the crypto addresses. But the mods can post them periodically. And you can always, if you want to donate crypto, ask the mods or ask me. Message me about it. But we do accept crypto now. But I got to set up a page where people can go. I have there's a page I have in mind specifically where I want to put it on, but I'm still working on it. So thank you. Thanks for your support. You guys are the ones who allow me to report on news, so thank you. Oh. This isn't... Idaho Star set up a kind of a neat thing over at Twitch where he set up a page, a document. Okay, that's he sent up a Google Drive document as a stand-in until I get the site going. That's interesting. Thank you, Idaho Star, for setting that up. I see what you did there. Anyways, I'll work on getting that set up for the few people who might want to donate with crypto. Thanks again to all of our moderators, Lady Edith and Sarah Joy and Melissa McQueen, Linda Belk, Idaho Star, Ellie Bourne, Roxanne Betke. Really appreciate it. They are awesome. Papa Bear. Betty says, wasn't he a neighbor? Betty, I don't know if the accused person in the Canada truck attack was a neighbor of the people who died. I don't know if he knew them. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard why did they think it was targeted at them? Because they were Muslim. I'm sure they have some reason. One of the viewers mentioned this story. I forget who mentioned this. Sorry, one of the viewers mentioned this. 178 staffers at Houston Methodist Hospital suspended for not complying with COVID-19 vaccine mandate. The hospital set a deadline for all employees to be vaccinated by June 7th. Now, this hospital has 26,000 employees, so it's not a huge percentage of the employees. It's 178 staff members. If the employees do not get vaccinated, they will be terminated. The hospital said nearly 100% of the hospital staff was compliant with the mandate, and almost 25,000 of the 26,000 employees have been vaccinated. $285 had received a medical or religious exemption. All right, so that's happening. One of our viewers mentioned that story. The Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, a federal government agency that protects workers from discrimination, said employers can legally require COVID vaccines to re-enter a physical workplace as long as they follow requirements to find alternative arrangements for employees unable to get vaccinated for medical reasons or religious beliefs. Okay? So the hospital is allowing employees to not get vaccinated if they have medical religions or religious beliefs that say they shouldn't get vaccinated. But I guess the problem is with people who haven't given a reason. That's what it sounds like. The Lucky Blackbird says, I'm pleased they suspended them. They shouldn't be caring for vulnerable patients without adequate vaccination. Dr. Fretlix is here. And then one of our viewers just mentioned the drought in the West, I think. I can't see. Somebody did. Now I can't find the comment. But anyways, CNN from today, extreme drought worsens in West with exceptional conditions covering more than 26% of the region. A very dry week with well above average temperatures has worsened an already severe drought in the western U.S., according to U.S. Drought Monitor. California, Oregon, Utah, and Nevada. The entirety of California, Oregon, and Utah, and Nevada are under drought conditions. 88% of the western U.S. is in drought. Scientists say persistent drought conditions in this region are being exacerbated by man-made climate change. There is a map from CNN. In addition to the chronic critical water shortages this year's drought has caused, fire forecasters have raised concerns that the continued dry conditions will cause a particularly intense wildfire season. Exceptional drought conditions, the most severe category, cover more than 26% of the West and nearly a tenth of the contiguous United States. That is from CNN. Lady Edith says Lake Mead is too low. Underdog Rising says just got a notice from the water company saying we will have to conserve. The princess says, I live in the high desert where it's hot and very windy. We are expecting a bad fire season, was on evacuation watch a few times last year. This is something we'll have to keep an eye on. Shaggy says the Western water wars are going to get interesting. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jeff, for more stars. Thank you so much, Jeff Curry. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that, for the Facebook stars. UA grad says it only rained 2 times all winter where I live in Southern California. Guys, I think I have covered let's see what I want to cover. But C. Michelle Sparks sent one more story. We'll talk about one more thing. I haven't seen this yet. Lawsuit. Arkansas state trooper causes pregnant woman's car to flip over using pit maneuver. A lawsuit alleges that in Arkansas, state trooper caused a pregnant woman's SUV to flip over by performing a pit maneuver to pull an attempt to pull her over from speeding. This happened in July 9th, 2020. Pit maneuvers should force the fleeing vehicle to spin out safely, but instead, Harper's SUV flipped over onto the middle of the highway. There's a picture of it right there. I can't really speak to this, the details of this, but if you want to read more about the lawsuit, go to Eyewitness News ABC 7. According to the suit, the officer allegedly clocked her doing 14 miles per hour over the speed limit. I don't see that we have the response from the police about this. The state police did not immediately respond to ABC News' request for comment. So I don't know if somebody's at fault here or not. Thank you, C. Michelle Sparks, for sending that in. All right, guys, I think at this point we have gotten to the stories I wanted to get to. I think it's time for me to eat. I got to eat something. Oh, she says you have to watch the dash cam, which I can't find anymore. I will look for it. See Michelle Sparks. All right, I'm going to eat something. So, if there's a big story tonight, we'll come on the air and cover it on Agenda Free TV. I also have my personal channel. Who knows, maybe we'll do a stream there tonight. We'll have to see. That is called Lookner on YouTube. See? That's my personal channel, where I do some non-news streams. And then also, I always cover the breaking news when I'm not on the air on my Twitter, @Lookner. Follow me on Twitter, @Lookner there, on Twitter. But I appreciate you guys tuning in for the news roundup. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all of your comments. Because the news roundup's about the comments just as much as the news. So thank you for watching. A big thanks to our moderators as well. Melissa McQueen, Lady Edith, Sarah Joy. Oh, thanks for subbing. Cars Car. By the way, if by some chance you just found this channel today, my main news channel is Agenda Free TV on YouTube. So if you're watching Agenda Free TV on YouTube and you're like, you've never seen this channel before, my main news channel on YouTube is Agenda Free TV. You can find all my channels by going to the Channels tab. But moderators, thank you so much. Sarah55, Sarah Joy, Lady Edith, and Melissa McQueen. Thank you, moderators. Linda Belk, Roxanne Betke, Idaho Star, Ellie Bourne, Papa Bear. Thank you so much. And thank you also for donations. Thanks to everybody who donated. That's very kind of you, including the anonymous crypto donor. We now accept crypto donations. How about that? So I will hopefully soon have a site up where I can say, go to this website and look for the, and it'll be like It'll be an easy to say website name where I can say, go check it out. But if you want to donate crypto, we can give you the links for that. Ask the mods, message me, whatever. And once in a while it gets posted in the chat. But we're working on that. Just for the first time, it happened last night. Just got set up. So again, but I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all of your comments and questions and your news tips as well. And if anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, ask the mods. They'll give you more information. That would be awesome. And don't forget about the Discord. You can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air. Agenda Free TV Discord chat room. The mods can post that link. And also, if you sign up to the Discord, it's free. You get awesome notifications when we're going on the air. Okay, let's thank some of the viewers. Lily Lacu, Troy Paloto. They were watching there. Learn and Earn, 18. And other Twitch viewers. And other Twitter viewers, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching there. Shaggy, Farabute, 11 Glowfly, Dudamaf, One Shot, Ichida. They were watching over there on Twitch. On the Sidewalk Guy, Thomas Hansen, Edgar 420, and all of our Twitch viewers, thank you. Facebook viewers, Jeff Curry, thank you for watching. Sorry about the issues with the Facebook chat, by the way. Twilla McCord, Keith Woolard. No, I do not take AMST stock donations. Thank you, Keith. Barbara Danko. Betty Nelson, Roxanne. Thank you again, Roxanne, for moderating. Betty Nelson says, we're now in severe drought in parts of Michigan as of today. Karen Mitchell, thanks for watching too. And our YouTube viewers, Kaylee N. Well, just joining us right now. You can rewind the stream, Kaylee N. Alibaba, Thomas Brand, Margot 1, Dafuk, Johnny Fernandez, Mike Armstrong, Cars Car, Denise Horton, The Princess, Underdog Rising. I need to get some food. Darth Tater, Lucky Blackbird, Smee, Marzel, June 0130. Beth says we have a lot of 71,000 acres burned so far in North Superior, Arizona. Montpelier, thanks for watching. The Riddler. All right, guys, we are wrapping this up. But I appreciate you joining for the live news roundup. All right, guys, Rhonda Reynolds, thanks for watching. Kariba Guyan, thanks for watching too. And Madison. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the news roundup. Thank you for your comments. And we will see you soon with more live coverage on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2.